What is up, everybody? What's good? What's good? What's good? Back with another Sunday live stream. Wanted to apologize for being out so much this week. I was supposed to move, and then I had an issue with my lease. They fleeced me. They did a bunch of dirty stuff. So yeah, I had to cancel that lease. Got a new lease, so hopefully this week should be back to normal and more content than ever. Make sure to follow me on TikTok at Fantasy Joe as well. And I'll be answering any start sits you guys got. We know any start sits you guys got. And I'm going to start working on this parlay of the day. We're going to hit this week, I think. I think this is the week the parlay hits. So that probably means it won't. No, I'm kidding. I wish Andy Dalton was active this week. I've got Allen Robinson firing him up. Do not feel good about it, though, with Justin Fields out there. He has looked rough. I wasn't given a whole lot of chances to be successful last week, though, in his fairness to him. Still tough, though. All right, let's start checking out this live stream, see what we can do. Parlay. Yeah, I'll start talking. Look at this parlay. Good morning, Southern California. How you doing, brother? Good to see ya. Good to see ya. If you have any start sit decisions you're going back and forth on, fire them down below. Any fantasy questions? I'm going to be looking at the parlay right now for a little bit, checking out what we got. Cleveland -1 versus Minnesota. I'm not going to put that game in there. What's up today? They're good to go. That makes sense. I got the Rams today. Ooh, that is a tough question. Do you have I have Barber, and I'm not sure. What are your other options? I think there's a pretty good chance Josh Jacobs plays tomorrow, honestly. I think it's up there, so it makes me hesitant for that Monday night game. But, yeah, let me know what your other options are. Ooh, I like the call, Simon. Go with the Cardinals. I think that is a bold call, honestly. But, yeah, let me take a look at some of these games. I like Packers -6.5. Next week, the Rams are -1.5 points for Seattle. I might take that. Debo for Barber straight up? What the hell? Does he have any running backs? That is crazy. Mike Davis, Trey Sermon, Elijah Mitchell. I'd probably fire up. I think he will be the guy. Here, let me look up the 49ers report. That is rough, dude. That deep. Yeah, so looking at this parlay, I think they're a pretty quality football team. I think the Ravens are good. Lamar's obviously playing Lamar Jackson, but I think the Ravens with a point I like. points. I like that it's really under a touchdown. Are we lagging? That is unfortunate. Here, let me hopefully it figure itself out. Here, let me shoot some of this, close some of these windows. Maybe that'll help. Are we good now? I saw something that it was lagging a second ago, like the symbol that said it was, but if we're still lagging, I'll see if I can move inside or something. But yeah, I'm liking. Yeah, I'll move inside. See if this will help. Here, let me grab a chair. Set this up like that. Gonna prop this thing up. There we go. Alrighty. Yeah, if you guys have any start sits, let me know. I'll respond to all those. Any real fancy questions, trade advice, team advice, just let me know. I got you guys. I'll work on this parlay a bit. Okay, Giants. I think the Chiefs -7 are a pretty good bet this week just because their backs against the wall at that 1 and 2. Taking a look at some of these other guys, other teams. Yeah, I think that probably may be my favorite one this week so far. Titans -6, Rams -3.5, Ravens +1. If I was going to pull out, I don't trust the Eagles. Okay, let's see. We got some start sits now. Who do you think I could get for trading Waddle and Patrick together? Here, let me look at a good target for you. You want a running back or a wide receiver? You're in a 14-team league, so I think there's a chance you could get somebody like a Damian Harris, or maybe even a Trey Sermon, or a Javonte Williams. If you're ranking for running backs, I think you might be able to get one of those type of players, or that's who I'd be trying to get. And then as far as wide receivers go, I'd probably be looking at maybe you might be able to take both of them and upgrade them into Marvin Jones. I know he didn't have a great game last week, but I think he's really going to be solid moving forward with who am I thinking of? DJ Chark out. He was actually getting a good amount of targets. Do you only have to, assuming you have 2 running back spots, I'd start Swift over. Let me take a look at the matchups for this week. I know Swift is playing Baltimore, but we also heard MCDC, Motor City Dan Campbell, the other day say he needs to get DeAndre Swift more involved. Oh, Gibson is playing Atlanta. That is a nice matchup. Or DeAndre Swift playing Chicago. What am I saying? They played Baltimore last week. Yeah, I think I would. I think I would play Swift, honestly. That's where I'm at. I'm pretty high on Swift. I mean, Atlanta has a great matchup. There's no doubt about it. But, oh, man, that is tough. It's tough that you don't have a flex spot. If you do, I'd definitely be flexing Swift. You got some killer running backs, though. That's a good problem to have, honestly. Okay, yeah. Right now the parlay though is Tennessee -6, Rams -3.5, and Ravens +1, and that's a +554. So bet 10 155, bet 100 554. Just so you guys know. And then, yeah, the guy I'm really hoping plays this week is Darrell Henderson. Plays at Arizona in that second time slot of games. So if he doesn't play, I'm going to be playing, Tim Patrick or somebody similar to that. We're gonna get desperate a little quick. Who are your receivers then? Okay, you got a stacked squad then, Patur. For real. Yeah, I do agree, Simon. I'd be disappointed just because he hasn't gotten the pass catching work because of McKissick. But the fact that he can make those big plays is definitely encouraging. But yeah, I think Swift's one of the best backs in fantasy, to be honest with you. He's really impressed me this year. I'm just looking at the recent actives and inactives. No problem, Patur. Yeah, if you let me know your receivers and I can let you know if I play any of those guys over them. Start 3 full PPR. Okay, perfect. Woods, Deontay, Ayuk, Myers, Kirk, Renfro. Okay, right at the bat, I know I'm going to play Deontay and Myers, especially in full point PPR this week. And man, that is tough. I'm between in full point PPR. Jefferson and DK. Gosh. Let me see. They're playing the 49ers. That is a really good matchup for them. Really good. Yeah, to be honest, I think you might have the right. I think I play Swift, but I think you got a stacked team. Stacked squad for sure. Okay, who am I? Yeah, out of those two, Brett, I play Deontay, Myers. Okay, I think depending on if you're going for the ceiling, I'd go Ayuk. I think Ayuk could have a real good week. Bill Woods out there. I do agree. I think he's going to get it going eventually. But, I think all those other guys are really solid as well. I do think I like Myers this week against Tampa Bay. Their secondary is really banged up. I think Bill Belichick's, a lot of teams don't even attempt to run the ball really against Tampa. Tannehill, Taylor, Sermon, D-Hop, Bourne, Pant. Probably you, Simon, if I had to guess. I remember most of your team. I think Sermon's a nice start. Taylor's a nice start against Miami. It's a good matchup, but Quentin Nelson just won the IR, which is a big loss for them. Tannehill is none of his receivers, although he's playing the Jets, and he might run a little bit more, so I think he'll be all right. But I think it's probably you, to be honest with you. Bourne is a flex? That is tough. That's a tough one. So, yeah, I'd probably fire those guys up. Appreciate the question, Brett. Yeah, parlay for anyone who hasn't heard it. It's Titans -6, Rams -3.5, and Ravens +1, and that's +554. Other bets I actually like the Chiefs. Ooh, Chiefs just went up to -7.5. I was already probably going to buy it down to 6.5 because they don't usually cover touchdowns. I think they'll beat the Eagles pretty well today, though, just because they're 1-2. They need to bounce back. They know they need this one. They're still obviously a good football team. Oh yeah, I think the Vikings. Obviously Vikings, Minnesota. Yeah, I agree. Vikings aren't a bad team. Gosh, I don't know what's going on with my Wi-Fi right now, guys. Sorry about this. I don't know what's going on right now. Thank you for bearing with me, sticking with me. If you guys are new and you haven't hit that like button, please hit that like button. It helps out the stream. Yeah, they do make good games. Bold prediction. Oh, I like that. Let me go look at these games. I'm looking for somebody that's a big underdog. Okay, this one I don't know if it's that bold. I think the Lions win today against the Bears. They're +3. I mean, I just don't. I just don't think the Bears are all that good. I mean, they got to be better than they were last week. I think a lot of it had to do with that front seven just being really good for Cleveland. But yeah, I'll take the Lions to get their first dub today. Honestly, the Lions have looked good too. MCDC, Motor City, Dan Campbell. He's had them rolling most games. Like they play. At least they show up. I mean, the Packers was probably the worst game, but that game was close at halftime. Yeah, Lions are gonna beat them. That's my prediction. What's up, Seg? Good to see you, brother. Yeah, well, more people are here. I said this to the beginning, but I do want to apologize for lack of content this last week. My lease, I was supposed to move to a new city, moved there, like traveled there. The lease, I had an issue with it, had to cancel it. They were just messing with me. The freaking lease company is supposed to be furnished. I show up, there's no furniture there. I'm like, what the hell? They're like, we never my lease. Then went back home. Yeah, now I moved to another place tomorrow. So hopefully we'll be back to our normal content schedule this week. I'll fire up a live stream at worst. Keep in touch. Hopefully we'll have some more soon. If any of you guys are on TikTok, you can follow me on TikTok too at Fantasy Joe. Gonna be posting more there as well. If anyone wants to parlay and hasn't seen it, it's Titans -6, Rams -3.5, and Baltimore Ravens plus a point at Denver Broncos. If I was going to take one bet out of this, it would probably be the Ravens, honestly, and I'd swap it in with Green Bay -6.5. I think I'd just do it. Game's gonna be closer than people think. Should fantasy managers be worried about A-Rob? I own A-Rob, and I am definitely worried. But let me hear me out. Even though he hasn't been great, or he's been pretty gosh darn awful every week, I do think he's going to get it going eventually. Like, I think we've seen the floor for Allen Robinson. He's still getting a ton of targets, a ton of the air yards, all that good stuff that you want to see that's going to eventually lead to fantasy points. Just like 6 passes, so it's hard to have a good fantasy week when your quarterback's completing that many passes. He's only like a 30% target share, over 50% of the team's air yards. I think the only receiver who had more air yards than him last week was Devontae Adams, who had absolutely off and had like 18 targets or something ridiculous. So although I am worried about him, I'm adjusting my expectations season long because of how poorly Justin Fields has looked. I was hoping he'd have a little bit more of a ceiling with Fields. That has not been the case. So I think he's a guy I'd buy low on, honestly. I think he'll be better. I'm starting him this week. Yeah, I think Jerry Jeudy was supposed to miss a pretty extended period of time. But honestly, for dropping him for somebody like Snell, I don't think it's a bad idea. Let me look up. Here, I just found something about when he'll be back. We'll get to the bottom of this right now. Okay, so he's eligible to return next week, but wait. I might try to wait another week, but honestly, it just depends on your waiver wire options. I think for Benny Snell, I don't think it's a bad option. But honestly, if like a guy like Ramondre Stevenson's out there in your league, I might drop him for Ramondre Stevenson and then add him in another week or two. What range do you think you could get in terms of fantasy? I'm assuming you mean like RB 1 to 5 or RB like 6 to 12 or something like that is what you're asking. Let me take a look at. I still have a lot of faith in Zeke. I know Tony Pollard's more involved, but yeah, I think he's still a very legit RB1. So and people are freaking out, but I would not be scoring opportunities. He was really pretty inefficient on the goal line last year. I think he'll be much more efficient just because of the bounce back. You get that much work around the goal line. That's going to lead to fantasy points for sure. So I would not be that worried about Zeke. Here, let me go. I'll look at some of these running backs and tell you if I'm worried about some of them. I'm a little worried about Clyde. I've got him in some leagues just because I haven't seen the pass game involvement yet. I do like he's playing a ton of snaps, so like that's encouraging. And this is like he has been getting a good amount of carries every week. And like when you get that many carries as he is he's got 44 carries so far, divided by 3. I want to say that's like just over 14 per week. 14.6 a week. Close to 250 carries. I was just hoping. I thought he'd be right around there carry-wise. I just thought he would be more involved in the passing game. Maybe this week he does. But Patrick Mahomes, honestly, I think that's the biggest weakness in his game. He really doesn't look for the running back as much as he should. And they could just get easy free yards. And I think that's one of the reasons they've been struggling, to be honest with you. I do think Damian Harris should get a nice bump this week with James White out. I think he could potentially be the passing game back, although I don't think he's going to get much on the ground, so I think he's probably going to be pretty similar to what he was last week. But start Ayuk. What are your other options? I think you can definitely start Ayuk this week. I'd be comfortable playing him. Do you think the Chiefs win the division? Yeah, I do. They've already beat them once, so we'll see. I play. That's a tough one. I think I play Allen Robinson, then Antonio Brown, and then Ayuk, honestly. So I probably Fields was bad last week, but if he's bad again this week, he could be 20 for 40 or something like that. Maybe he doesn't throw the ball that much, but he completed 6 passes last week, so I think he's going to have to be better. And I think he's got. I was saying this just about Allen Robinson. The only team. So you look at unrealized air yards to like turn into points, basically. And the only person that had more air yards last week than him was Devontae Adams. So I'd be plugging him in. I know it's been tough sledding for you if you've been playing Allen Robinson. I've been playing Allen Robinson. I'm rolling him out this week, but I know it sucks. It really is hard. Ooh. Eagles are out 4 of their starting offensive linemen today. That's why you take the Chiefs today. -7. Take those Chiefs. I think. Man. What do you guys think? Do I swap out Chiefs -7 for Ravens +1 in the parlay, or do I stick with the Ravens +1? That's the only one I'm kind of going back and forth on. No, not in division. In terms of, wait, you said I don't know if I keep winning, but the other two, those teams are really good, but the Raiders and Chargers are both going to end up dropping foolish games. I know the Chiefs have dropped the first 2, but I do think it's going to happen. And then, yeah, I mean the Chargers got beat by the Cowboys. I don't think the Cowboys are that good. Sorry to offend any Cowboys fans, which I'm pretty sure you are. I think the Cowboys will win the division, though. I think, and the defense has looked much better. So I'd be encouraged if I was a Cowboys fan. I just don't think they're otherworldly, like the top tier of teams. Yeah, I would agree. Maybe I switch it from +1 to money line. I kind of like the idea of that. Here, let me see how it changes my odds, though, if I take that instead. Plus 581 now. Yeah, I'd probably do that. Yeah, I think you guys should beat up against all those. I think you win today as well against Carolina. Yeah, exactly. I agree. Patriots and Giants, let's be for real. I completely agree with you. They are not going to be great this year. Neither of those teams. Minus 3.5 versus the Cardinals, and we got Ravens money line. That is 10 to win 58, 100 to win 581. Let's talk about my top starts this week. I do think Derrick Henry is probably my number one. The receivers are out. I think you can play if you're in a 14-team league and you need a receiver. I think you can definitely play. I mean, even if you're a 12-team league and you're desperate, you can play. What's their receiver's name? It's like he's got a pretty long name though. I mean, he's a Tannehill. I saw a quote talking about how he's looking good, or he's done or something like that. So I do think he'll be a lot better than he was. Nick Westbrook-Akeem. I think you can roll him out there. I think I'd hang on to Swift. Yeah, Swift is going to be a tank. If you don't have a tight end, then I consider moving one of your wide receivers. Like I'd move DK or for Darren Waller if you could get something like that. Or I'd move. Then you could flex Swift. But I think I'd play. Like I said, I'd play Swift over Antonio Gibson today. Even we have, like I said, we haven't seen him. You're worried about Urban Meyer? What do you mean? Like as far as being a good NFL coach? If that's what you mean, then you should be worried. But if you mean, are you a Jags fan, Simon? Yeah, I mean, I agree. He does have a good matchup. I don't think the Bears' run defense is anything crazy, though. I mean, I know they're good, but the Lions actually have a pretty solid offensive line. Do you really think? Are you talking about that video that got released of him at that bar, Simon? Do you really think that was him? Was that really him? I don't know. I saw that video and I had no. I was just like, this has to be fake, right? Or are you just talking about? Yeah, let me know what you mean. But yeah, if you're in a desperate matchup, I think you play Nick Westbrook-Akeem. Let me go over. Let's see. Let me find here the injury list. We'll look at all these guys. Just came out. Yeah, I agree. I didn't think he would do something like that, but I mean, who knows? Let's see. Vikings are without Anthony Barr. That's something to note for that matchup. Dalvin Cook, Antonio Gibson, DeAndre Swift are all in. Jamison Crowder's in. I think he's another guy I'd add to the guy. If you're still in here, that's a guy I'd add if he's in your league available. And like I'd rather have Jamison Crowder right now than Jerry Jeudy with the games he's gonna miss. But yeah, I think he's a guy to keep an eye on. Yeah, Robbie Anderson owners are upset. I agree. It's been rough for them. I will say, if you need to play him this week, I think you can because Christian McCaffrey is out. They signed him that extension. Yeah, if Terrace Marshall's in your league, I would add him. I agree about that. I think he could be the wide receiver too. My only, and then you got DJ Moore on top of that. It's just a lot of, and then Robbie Anderson's not going anywhere. It's just a lot to spread around. I don't know if he's going to be able to be a guy you can consistently start just because of the situation depth chart wise. But I do agree he's a talented player, and I think he'll have some games this year. Is a good corner, but I just think DJ Moore is such a good route runner. I think, and he's just real good as a receiver. I think he'll be all right. I think you can still start him this week. And if he's a guy too, it's just like I do think if they're outward, let's get such a crazy target share from Darnold, honestly. I'll be live for a few more minutes here. Any last minute questions anybody's got, they can fire them away. Like I said, next week we should be posting a lot more. Yeah, I just saw something that said it was talking about scariest thing that you could be looking down today is Derrick Henry in fantasy, and I would agree. That is tough. I'm sure there's a way you can bet that, right? I don't know if it's easy money. I know he just had one each game, but the odds were probably pretty good. Imagine if you had parlayed every week so far. Be rich. I'm going to check on one of my other random fantasy teams, see how they're doing. Let's see. All right, see you, Simon. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for chilling with me. Have a good one. Good luck this week. Yes, definitely, Carmen. I'm starting Jacoby Myers in the league this week. He's one of those guys who's gotten so many targets and air yards. It hasn't necessarily all turned into fantasy points yet, and he hasn't had a touchdown his whole NFL career. Could he be due today? I think so. Plus, he's playing Tampa Bay, who's last in the league against the pass. They've got a really banged up secondary, and I expect the Patriots' game plan today to be very pass heavy, considering the Tampa Bay's run defense is so good, and Belichick usually goes against the team's strength. So, yes, I would definitely say so. If you want to, Carmen, you let me know your other options too. I can tell you for sure or not if I start him, but I do think he's definitely start worthy. Let me take a look at the quarterbacks available in this league. Couple good ones. I think I'm rolling Derek Carr out there this week. Just going to do it. Going to go for it. Yeah, Mitchell's out, so make sure you don't play him. I think I would play Myers over Gaskin, honestly. I think I'd do it. Especially this week. I just think if you can't play Myers this week, I don't know when we're going to be able to play him. A shot to him, I think it's a good matchup. Yeah, I'd roll Jacoby out there. Okay, I'm going to run over to parlay real quick. If anybody else has any questions, fire them in the chat right now. I'll respond before I hop off. But yeah, let me go over to the Cardinals. And then we got Baltimore Ravens money line against the Ravens. That's plus 581. So you bet 10 to win 58. You bet 100 to win 581. Pretty basic. Yeah, thank you guys all for watching. Thank you guys for your comments, for your likes, for your thumbs up, commenting in the chat. I really do appreciate it. We'll see you guys hopefully a lot earlier this week. More content should be coming out. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one. Fantasy Joe, peace out.